Today in my presentation, I'll be talking about the human sciences, which is the study of humans, but also it is the study of the consequences of our actions and behaviours. They find models, patterns and laws to try to explain our behaviour. There is a vast array of subjects that are defined as a human science. For example, the first subjects that come into one's mind are usually the following: human geography, economics and even psychology. But the human science may also consist of anthropology, sociology and many other ologies. Like many other areas of knowledge in TOK, the human sciences has its fair share of problems. One day, as I was scrolling through Facebook, procrastinating as you do, trying to escape the fact that I had a TOK assignment due in next week, when I found an interesting and thought-provoking post. It was a map illustrating the happiest and unhappiest countries in the world. And straight off the bat, there was a very obvious problem with this map. It was highly subjective, and as seen from the comments below, people were extremely mad. But the problem with this experiment is, how can happiness be actually measured in a concrete manner? There are two types of data used in the human sciences: quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative data is a set of data that uses figures, numbers and mathematical functions, while qualitative data is more of a description. For example, if you wanted to measure the development of a country, you could use their GDP, their life expectancy, their literacy rate, and upon many more indicators. These mathematical functions can be very concrete. For example, South Africa has a very high GDP per capita, so you may assume that it's a developed country. But there are huge wealth inequalities in South Africa, which is hidden very well by the average. But the colour of your eyes is an example of a qualitative set of data, and so is measuring happiness, which can bring a huge array of problems as well. First of all, this experiment probably used some sort of questionnaire and asked a huge amount of people for their opinions. Questionnaires can be very useful, as a huge array of answers can be supplied, but are often very misleading. The first problem is the observer effect, where upon supervision, the behaviour of the people being tested change. Also, people can just blatantly lie. But to put this into perspective, let's look at a teacher analogy. So, someone comes in to check the learning methods of the teacher, but the teacher knows that he or she is being observed and will change his or her teaching methods accordingly that he or she would not normally do. This could be rectified by not telling the teacher that the observation process is happening. But is that ethical? If the observer wants to inspect the children in the classroom, it wouldn't be extremely accurate. The students look like they're paying attention and are really engaged in the activity, but in fact, the students are putting on a facade and are most likely thinking what they're having for lunch instead. This again highlights the unpredictability of the human sciences, and humans, to put it frankly, are a very tricky bunch.